Hello creators, welcome back to Create, Share, and Give. This is my Marie, and today is a video I want to share with you guys about my spiritual journey. Now basically that's what my channel was about. I just simply share my experience with the world. It's like my diary, open diary to the world, and to connect with like minds, and that's my main primary purpose. So a few videos have been coming and circulating through YouTube, entitled New Age to Jesus or New Age to Religion. And I watched a few of the testimonies. I'm always interested in someone else's journey. And then I came across a video a couple of days ago from a lady here on YouTube that goes by the Conjurequeen. And it was a very informative video, and I really liked how she had a solution or offer to people to speak their story. And I thought I would take her up on that offer and then kind of speak my journey, because that's part of what my YouTube channel is about, is sharing myself with the world. Not saying anyone is right or wrong, but if you putting your story out there, then I have that same right to put my story out there as well. So that's what I wanted to do today. So I'll start by giving you a little bit of background. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama. My mother moved to Southern California when I was a young child, so I got a chance to really see the best of both worlds. One being from the South. Southern California was very different than being in the Bible Belt state. So my family that was still in Birmingham, that I spent years, school years, summers there. So when I would be in Alabama with my father's side of the family, it was all about, church, of course. It was Sunday school. It was vacation Bible study. It was, Bible study on the weekdays, 2 or 3 days a week. And I really appreciate it, because it did teach me how to have a higher power in my life to latch on to. So then when I would go back to California and I wouldn't be really involved in any type of spirituality, I knew that I took a God with me, or a higher being, with me, and that helped me get through a lot of hard times. But at the same time, through religion, I was always confused as a child, because I felt like a lot of family members and people in the neighborhood were going through the motions. We would go to church, but I didn't see any change in behavior, that coincide with what was being taught. So even as a young child, I just felt confused, like, this says this, but I don't see any growth or happiness or elevation, So, but again, that's what I was told to do. So I just went through the motion. Some things didn't really resonate with me. Some things never clicked. The pieces to the puzzle never went together. And when I would question that, it was always, don't ask any questions, just believe, and that's what it is. But me, I have a very inquisitive mind. I've always had a very inquisitive mind. So you can't just tell me that that's just the way it is and that's it. Like, no, I'm going to go and dig, and I'm going to find an answer that I feel comfortable with. But it took me, of course, into becoming an adult before I began on that journey to really seeing those pieces and trying to put those together for myself. So after I enrolled in a few college courses in school, then I began to learn about certain parts of history that was very, very disturbing to me. And one of the ones I connected to the Southern Bible Belt was the historic history behind the religion, and how the enslaved people, once they were bought here or from wherever they came from, they were enslaved on their plantations. They were not allowed to honor their own gods. They couldn't even speak their own language. They could not have any part of their past life. Instead, missionaries were brought in, even some of the people that were on the plantation, such as Nat Turner, were really prepped into teaching the enslaved people part of the Bible. And if you go back and look at, there is a slave Bible that I recently learned about a few years ago. There were only 14 books within this Bible that they would give and preach to the enslaved people to indoctrinate their minds. They didn't even give them the full text. But who knows what the full text is, because, when man is involved in anything, you better believe there is some shady things that are going on with the doctrine that they cover. That's just the nature of man. And that's why I try to go directly to my higher power and skip out on the middleman, because I have that direct power. I have that direct line. I don't need you. If I want you to interact, I can ask for that, or I can pursue that. So that's why my journey left me more on research. So with this slave Bible, of course, they only wanted to give the enslaved people what would keep them docile, what would keep their minds enslaved. You live like a less than a human being here on earth, but you wait until you die and then you get your beauty in heaven, But here you stay and be a slave. And even the colonizers that enslaved people, they obviously did not even believe in the religion they were making their enslaved people adhere to. Because there's no way that you can believe in a God and call yourself going to church every day and reading a doctrine of love and killing, slaying, raping, God knows what other else you were doing to the enslaved people. There's no one who can say they love a higher power and treat another human being that way. So that just didn't add up to me. One of Desmond Tutu's famous quotes that I love, and he said, when the missionaries came to Africa, they came with the Bibles. They told them to close their eyes and pray. And when they opened their eyes, the missionaries had all the land, and the people of the native land had the Bible. So that kind of trickery has been going on for years with the Native Americans. I went to see Chichen Itza, which are the Mayan pyramids. And the guide was explaining the exact same thing that happened to the Mayans. They were conquered, and they used religion to conquer the people's minds. Because I can't beat you, I can't continue to whip you and rape you and mutilate you, because I need you to work. I need you to be the lower feed of the cycle of life, of the food chain. So how to get people is to get them through their mind. Indoctrination, that's how you do it. So it's nothing new, but as I began to go and learn and study and learn about the Council of Nicaea, where there's a meeting and, they decided what was put in the Bible, what was not going into the Bible. It's just all a bunch of trickery, and I'm just here to find the truth for myself. The book of Enoch, which I haven't read yet, but it's on my wish list to read. So I am the kind of person who like to decipher my own information, not just really going back to what I was taught. Because though my grandmother and my family meant well, and I'm happy they indwelled a peace, a sense of a higher being within me, I'm so grateful for that. But at the same time, I look back at their lives, and at that point in my early 20s, I began to realize that I just can't believe what someone else told me to believe. I had to find that truth for myself, although their intentions might have been good, but maybe my grandmother's grandmother weren't able to read any other doctrine to even compare it to. They had lost their foundation. They have been told and beaten and basically demanded that they praise and worship a certain God from a certain religion. And it was for the benefit of mind control. So while they may have believed that in their soul, they didn't have much more to go on. So I believe that me in my time, I have much more information available to do more research and determine what's right for me. And what I don't like to do is bash anyone else. I don't like to bash anyone, religion, anyone's sexual preference. That's all good. Long as you are a solid person with a good character, I can rock with you. You know, I do not care. I have friends that are 7-day Adventists, Buddhist, everything. And we just discuss other things. I like them as a person. We just don't have to talk anything that do with spirituality or religion. I respect them. They respect me. But what I will never do is demonize something else. I will, and I don't like people to demonize other religion or spiritual practices, because that was one of the ways that the colonizers used African spirituality. They used it against people to basically demonize their gods and make their gods the forefront, you know? So that's part of the whole game. So I'm happy that I've just woke up out of that game and expanded my mind. And if, like there was one quote I heard Bobby Hemmitt say, if whatever information you gather, if that leads you right back to the church, then oh well. But at least you have gained information. You can't say that you didn't know. You weren't aware of other perspectives. Like for instance, right now I'm reading or studying the Kabbalah, which makes sense to me. Things are starting to add up. So right now I'm studying on the Tipperith, which is the Christ consciousness. And it makes so much sense on where it's placed on the tree of life. And it is the sacrifice God, you know, which there are like 16, I believe, throughout history with the same virgin story, but metaphorically. So now my mind is open to another avenue. And that's how I like to raise my consciousness, from growing and learning different avenues and putting the pieces to the puzzle together for myself, you know, and then I can go back and have a better judgment. So back to not bashing anyone else. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but don't turn around and bash something that you don't know anything about. Or if it's not for you, it's just not for you. Just simply move on. You know, don't go around saying, well, I don't like that, or they're doing that. And another thing that I had an issue with was New Age. I'm not even sure what New Age means. When I tried to research it, it was just a term that was coined in the 70s and 80s. But a lot of the traditions that I hear people demonize, they have been around for thousands of years. You know, like yoga. Yoga has been around for more than 10,000 years. Even if it stemmed from someone's religion, who are you or anyone else to say that that is evil? You know, that's just doesn't even make any sound sense to me. And of course, you know, I make videos on crystals. I definitely rock with my crystals, and they are from the earth. So how can something from the earth be evil? So then is a tree that's grown from the earth, just like the crystals are the flowers that are grown through the roots of Mother Earth, is that evil? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Meditation. How is going within yourself? How is closing your eyes and going within? You don't even have to close your eyes, but how is going within evil? Someone please explain that to me. You know, I was telling someone that I was meditating, and their reply was, "Ooh, I'm so scared to meditate," you know. And I'm like, what are you scared of? Why would someone be scared of going within themselves? how is within yourself evil? So none of that really adds up or makes sense, you know? So I don't even subscribe to New Age. I don't even know what the term mean. Things that I look into have been here for thousands and thousands of years, you know, before the Council of Nicaea, before, you know, even the Bible was written, going back to learn about Horus, you know, which is another son of God, S-U-N of God. So my purpose is just to expand my mind. And I just ask everyone else to expand their mind also. And whatever path you're on, make sure that you don't disrespect someone else's path. You don't need to demonize someone else's path if you don't like it. Just go and talk about what you like. So I think I've covered everything that I wanted to say that was on my mind. So thank you guys so much for listening. And don't forget to follow your intuition and do what is best for you and your journey through this thing we call life. Peace.